Warning: this is not typical self-help content. This video contains graphic historical descriptions of violence, torture, and death, deliberately confrontational language designed to challenge your comfort, extended criticism of modern lifestyle choices and mindsets, intense, uncompromising philosophy that some may find disturbing, a 2-hour commitment that will demand your full attention. This content is specifically designed to be uncomfortable, challenging, and mentally demanding. It practices what it preaches by refusing to coddle or comfort you. This video is for people who are genuinely tired of superficial motivation, ready to be brutally honest about their weaknesses, prepared for philosophy that demands action, not just inspiration, seeking transformation, not entertainment. This video is not for people who want gentle encouragement or positive affirmations, are looking for quick tips or easy solutions, prefer comfort over growth, are sensitive to graphic historical content or harsh criticism. If you're here for typical YouTube philosophy content, watch my other videos instead. This is Stoicism without the safety net. You've been warned. Proceed only if you're ready for the real thing. Every motivational page quotes dead philosophers. None tell you what they actually did to survive. Marcus Aurelius didn't write pretty words in a coffee shop. He wrote them in a tent, on a battlefield, while plague killed his people, while his best friend betrayed him. Epictetus didn't become wise through meditation apps. A master broke his leg for fun. He learned wisdom through chains. Seneca didn't find peace in a yoga retreat. He found it while Nero, the psychopath emperor, held a knife to his throat. You collect their quotes, you save them, you share them, but you don't live them because nobody told you the truth. The Stoics weren't calm, they were dangerous. They weren't peaceful, they were prepared. They didn't accept fate, they bent it. This isn't about philosophy. This is about survival, about power, about action. For the next hour, forget everything you think you know about Stoicism. Forget the quotes, forget the wisdom. I'm going to show you what they did, not what they said. How they turned pain into power, fear into fuel, chaos into control. No meditation, no journaling, no morning routines, just raw tactics from men who faced death and won, men who lost everything and built empires, men who were tortured and laughed. This is Stoicism with teeth. Epictetus was property, not a person. Property. His master liked to twist his leg, for entertainment, like breaking a toy to see what happens. The sound came first. Ligaments stretching, like rope pulled too tight. One day, the master twisted harder. Epictetus spoke calmly. "You're going to break it." The master's eyes lit up. More pressure, more twisting. Crack. The bone snapped. Clean, loud, final. The smell of sweat and fear filled the room. But not from Epictetus. He looked at his master. "I told you it would break." No scream, no tears, no anger. The master stepped back, hands shaking, not from guilt, from fear. He'd broken hundreds of slaves. They all screamed, begged, hated. This one smiled, slightly, like he'd won something. The master never touched him again. Think about that. A slave made his master afraid, not through strength, not through threats, through complete indifference to pain. This wasn't philosophy. This was psychological warfare. Epictetus discovered something that day. Pain only works if you react. Fear only works if you show it. Power only works if you acknowledge it. He turned his body into a weapon, not to fight, but to prove a point. The master could break his bones, but not his mind. The leg healed wrong. Epictetus limped forever, called it his teacher. Later, when freed, students asked him about happiness, about virtue, about wisdom. He'd tap his twisted leg. You want to know about wisdom? This is wisdom. Pain is just information. Your reaction is the message. But here's what he really taught them. Every day you're tested, not by broken bones, but by broken promises, lost jobs, failed relationships. You have two choices: react like they expect, or don't react at all. The world breaks everyone, but some people refuse to act broken. That's not philosophy, that's power. But speaking of power used differently, let me tell you about an emperor who had everything. Marcus Aurelius ruled the known world. He could have anything, do anything, be anywhere. He chose a tent in Germania in winter, fighting barbarians. The cold cut through everything, froze ink in his stylus, turned breath to ice. For 20 years, not because he had to, his generals could handle it. Rome was safe. He chose the frontier because comfort kills emperors faster than swords. Every morning he woke to frozen mud, the smell of death, horse shit, burning bodies. Breakfast was soldier food, hard bread, sour wine, sometimes meat, usually not. By noon, blood steamed in the snow. His blood, their blood. All blood looks the same. Every night, he wrote. Fingers numb, by candlelight. Not speeches, not laws, notes to himself. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Pretty words? No. Battle tactics. When Germanic tribes cut his supply lines, men started eating horses, then leather, then nothing. He didn't retreat. He learned to fight hungry. When plague killed his soldiers, bodies piled high, burned day and night. The smell never left. He didn't flee. He learned to fight with fewer men. When his best friend Crassus betrayed him, started a civil war, Marcus wept once, then marched. He didn't rage. He learned to trust no one. This is what your motivational quotes leave out. Marcus chose hell on purpose every day, because hell was honest, hell was simple. In hell, you know exactly what matters. Not comfort, not pleasure, not even survival, just the next right action. He could have stayed in Rome, eaten grapes, watched gladiators, died fat and happy. Instead, he died in a tent, covered in mud, still fighting. His last words, "Go to the rising sun. I am already setting." Not because he was brave, because he was smart. He knew what you don't. Comfort is the enemy. Always was, always will be. But there was another Roman who understood this, who took it even further. Seneca was rich, filthy rich, richer than you can imagine. In today's money, 400 billion, billion with a B, Bezos-level rich. He was also Nero's teacher. Nero, the emperor who burned Rome for fun. Everyone thinks Seneca was a hypocrite, preaching virtue while serving evil. They're wrong. Seneca was playing a game you don't understand, a game where losing meant death. Not metaphorical death, real death, painful death. He watched Nero murder his own mother, Agrippina, his mother. First, a collapsing boat. She swam to shore, so Nero sent soldiers. They found her in bed. She pointed to her womb. "Strike here, where the monster came from." They did, multiple times, while Seneca watched, said nothing, did nothing. He watched Nero burn Christians as garden torches, living torches, for parties, the smell of burning flesh, the screams, the laughter, Nero's laughter, and stayed, not because he was weak, because he was calculating. Every day, Seneca made a choice: die with honor today, or live to limit damage tomorrow. He chose tomorrow, every time, until he couldn't. For years, He was the only thing between Nero and total chaos, the only voice of reason in a palace of madness. He didn't do it for glory, or money, or power. He did it because someone had to. This is what real Stoicism looks like, standing next to evil, swimming in corruption, staying clean inside, not running to a mountain, not hiding in books, not pretending the world is good, playing the game with monsters and winning more than you lose. Until one day, Nero ordered him to die. Seneca was ready, had been ready for years. He'd practiced, not in his mind, in reality. 3 times a month he'd mapped his veins, tested different blades, timed blood flow, like a scientist, studying death, his own death, methodically. When the order came, he smiled. Finally, freedom. He opened his veins, calm, prepared, teaching to the end. But he was old. Blood flowed slow, too slow for Nero's soldiers. So they gave him poison, hemlock, like Socrates. He drank it eagerly, still too slow. His body was cold, circulation weak. Finally, a hot bath to open the vessels, speed the blood. As he died, he sprinkled water on nearby slaves, a libation to Jupiter the Liberator. His last lesson: death is liberation, if you're prepared. That's not philosophy, that's preparation. But preparation means nothing without the will to use it. Marcus Aurelius had a problem, a big problem. His son was insane, not different, not difficult, insane. Commodus tortured animals as a child, killed slaves for practice, laughed at pain. Marcus knew, everyone knew, the empire knew. His son would destroy everything, burn it all, for fun. Marcus had options. Accidents happen, even to princes. A fall from a horse, bad food, enemy arrow. Romans expected it, wanted it, begged for it. "Save us from your son," they whispered. "Do what must be done." Marcus could have saved millions, prevented wars, stopped suffering. One death, his son's death, for the empire. He didn't do it. The great Stoic emperor, the wise philosopher king, the man who preached virtue. He let a monster inherit the world. Why? Because even Stoics are human, even emperors are fathers, even philosophers have limits. This is what your motivational speakers hide. Sometimes you face impossible choices. Sometimes every option is wrong. Sometimes you fail. Marcus chose his son over his empire, his blood over his duty, his heart over his head. Commodus became emperor, just as insane, just as cruel, just as predicted. He fought as a gladiator, killed cripples for sport, renamed Rome after himself, until someone poisoned him, strangled him, ended him. Too late, damage done, empire cracked. Marcus failed. The greatest Stoic failed, at the most important moment. But here's the lesson. He knew he was failing, knew the consequences, knew history would judge, and he did it anyway, wrote about it, suffered for it, died knowing it. What brings no benefit to the hive brings none to the bee. He wrote that, while choosing his son, while betraying his hive. That's real Stoicism. Not perfection, not wisdom, not strength. Living with failure, choosing anyway, enduring consequences. Your failures are smaller, your choices easier, your consequences lighter. Yet you hesitate, delay, avoid. Marcus faced the worst choice possible, made the wrong decision, lived with it. You can't choose dinner, can't leave bad jobs, can't face hard truths. The lesson isn't that Marcus was weak. The lesson is that he was strong enough to be weak, strong enough to fail, strong enough to know, strong enough to continue. That's harder than success, harder than wisdom, harder than death. Marcus, Epictetus, Seneca, different lives, same pattern. They didn't avoid pain, they sought it. They didn't escape chaos, they swam in it. They didn't find peace, they made it. Here's what your Instagram quotes won't tell you. Stoicism isn't about feeling better, it's about getting stronger. Not stronger muscles, stronger mind, stronger will, stronger soul, and strength comes from one place: resistance. You want to be stoic? Stop running from what hurts. Your job sucks. Good. Stay longer. Your relationship is hard? Perfect. Work harder. Your body aches? Excellent. Push further. Not forever, not stupidly, but deliberately. The Stoics had a word: ascesis, training, but not normal training. Voluntary hardship, chosen pain, deliberate discomfort. Marcus slept on the floor when he had a palace full of beds. Cato wore rough wool when he could afford silk. Seneca fasted when he had rooms full of food, not to punish themselves, to prepare themselves, because they knew something you forgot. Life is war, always was, always will be, and wars aren't won by soft people with soft minds and soft hands. Wars are won by people who train every day, in small ways, for big moments. You think you're different. You're not. You wake up, check your phone, feel anxious, drink coffee, feel more anxious. Work a job you tolerate, for people you don't respect, to buy things you don't need. Come home, watch others live, through a screen, while you sit and rot. Weekend comes, you drink, or smoke, or scroll, anything to forget the week. Sunday night, the dread returns. Monday morning, the cycle continues. You know this is death, slow death, but death. So you read quotes, save quotes, share quotes. Memento mori. Remember death, but you don't remember. You hide. Amor fati. Love fate, but you don't love. You cope. The obstacle is the way, but you don't climb. You go around. Here's the truth. You're not living, you're existing, and you know it, deep down, in the place you don't visit. The Stoics would laugh at you. Not cruel laughter, sad laughter, because you have everything they wanted. Freedom, safety, choice, and you waste it. Every day, every hour, every minute, scrolling, consuming, complaining, waiting for motivation, waiting for the right time, waiting for permission. They didn't wait. They couldn't wait. Death was too close, too real, too certain. Forget the quotes. Here's what they did. But first, let's talk about what you're doing right now, this moment. You're watching this, probably in bed or on the couch, comfortable, phone in hand, maybe eating, maybe high, definitely avoiding something. Work tomorrow, ignored. Problems today, postponed. Life outside, irrelevant. You'll watch this entire video, feel inspired, save it maybe, share it probably. Then nothing. Back to scrolling, back to comfort, back to death, slow death, comfortable death, but death. You know this, I know this, we both know this, but you'll pretend otherwise. This time is different. I needed to hear this. Starting tomorrow. Tomorrow. Always tomorrow. Never today. Never now. Never real. The Stoics didn't have tomorrow. They had today. Only today. Always today. Here's what they actually did. Not planned. Did. Morning. They woke early. not to journal, to train. Marcus wrote, "At dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, I have to go to work as a human being." Work meant fighting, building, leading, not sending emails, not attending meetings, real work. The smell of dawn, cold air, empty stomach, clear mind. Noon, they faced the worst, on purpose. Seneca practiced poverty, 1 week a month, slept on floors, ate bread and water, wore rags. Not to be spiritual, to be fearless. Set aside a certain number of days, during which you shall be content with the scantiest and cheapest fare, with coarse and rough dress, saying to yourself the while, "Is this the condition that I feared?" The taste of stale bread, the feel of rough wool, the reality of less. Evening, they examined their day, not with kindness, with brutal honesty. Epictetus taught, "How long are you going to wait before you demand the best for yourself? Not tomorrow, not next week. Today, now this moment. The weight of wasted hours, the sting of missed chances, the promise of tomorrow's attempt. Night, they prepared for death. Actually prepared. Marcus, you could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think, not as motivation, as reality, as fact, as truth. The darkness waiting, the end approaching, the time running out. They lived like death was watching, because it was, because it is. Meanwhile, you live like death is optional, like time is infinite, like tomorrow is guaranteed. It's not. It never was. It never will be. But you know this already. You just don't live it. That's the difference. The only difference. The eternal difference. Between knowing and living. Between quotes and action. Between them and you. They acted. You watch. They lived. You exist. They died ready. You'll die surprised. Unless you close this video, stand up, act now. One action, any action, real action. Cold shower, hard conversation, difficult truth, something, anything, now. Not after the video, now. Pause it, do it, come back, but you won't. We both know you won't. You'll keep watching, keep consuming, keep pretending, while life passes. Time flies, death approaches. Comfortable, entertained, wasted, the Stoics are laughing, or crying, probably both, at what we've become, what you've become, what you're choosing right now. This second, this breath, to watch or to live, to consume or to create, to exist or to matter. Your choice, always your choice, only your choice. But choose knowing. They chose action. You're choosing entertainment. And that difference? That's everything. Before the Stoics, there was Crassus, the richest man in Rome. He understood something dark, something true. Crisis creates opportunity, always has, always will. Rome had a problem, fires everywhere, wooden buildings, oil lamps, no fire department. Crassus had a solution, his own fire brigade, 500 slaves, trained, equipped, ready. But here's the trick. When fire broke out, they didn't fight it, they watched it. Crassus would arrive, calm, collected, calculating. He'd make an offer to the burning building's owner and the neighbors. Sell me your property, now cheap, or watch it burn. The price dropped as flames rose. Owners had seconds to decide. Most sold. For nothing. For scraps. For survival. Then, and only then, his brigade would fight, save the buildings, stop the spread. Crassus would rebuild, rent them out. get richer. He turned disaster into empire, panic into profit, fear into fortune. Was it evil? Maybe. Was it effective? Absolutely. This is Stoicism's dark cousin. Same calm, same control, different goal. The Stoics used indifference for virtue. Crassus used it for vice. Same tool, different target. Both worked. Modern companies do this daily. Wait for crisis, create crisis, profit from crisis. Stock crashes, they buy. Pandemic, they pivot. War, they supply. Not with armies, with algorithms, not with fire, with fear. They learned from Crassus. Stay calm while others panic. Think while others feel. Act while others freeze. You hate them for it. But you could learn from it, not to exploit, but to endure. When your life burns, and it will, you have two choices. Panic like the property owners, or profit like Crassus. Not money profit, life profit, growth profit, strength profit. Your job ends? Good. Time to upgrade. Relationship burns? Perfect. Dead wood cleared. Health crashes? Excellent. Habits exposed. The Stoics knew this, used this, lived this. They just had better marketing than Crassus. He bought burning buildings. They bought burning souls. He rebuilt with brick. They rebuilt with iron. Same strategy. Better application. Eternal results. The fire is coming. To your life. To your plans. To your dreams. Will you sell cheap? Or will you watch it burn and rebuild better? Crassus got rich. The Stoics got free. Choose your profit, but choose fast. The flames don't wait. You want one thing to do? One real thing? Here it is, the fire drill. Tonight, before bed, sit in darkness. Complete darkness. No phone, no light, nothing. Ask yourself, if I died tonight, what would I regret not doing today? Not big things, small things, real things. The call you didn't make, the words you didn't say, the action you didn't take. Feel the regret. Really feel it. Let it burn. Then ask, if I survive tonight, what will I do tomorrow? Make a list, a real list, not goals, actions, not be better, but wake at 5, not eat healthy, but eat only meat and vegetables, not exercise more, but 50 push-ups before shower. Small, specific, actionable. Then sleep. Like you might not wake up, because you might not. If you wake up, and most do, you have your orders. From yourself, to yourself. Do them, all of them. No exceptions, no excuses. That night, repeat. New regrets, new actions, new orders. This isn't meditation. This isn't journaling. This is programming. You're programming yourself for action, for life, for death. The Stoics called it premeditatio malorum, imagining evils. But that's the soft translation. The real meaning, rehearsing reality. Your real enemies aren't outside. They're inside. Enemy 1, comfort. Your bed is warm. Your food is plenty. Your entertainment is endless. These aren't blessings. They're chains. Golden chains. But chains. The Stoics knew. Comfort makes you weak. Weak in body. Weak in mind. Weak in spirit. Fight back. Choose discomfort. Daily. Cold showers. Hard exercise. Simple food. Not to suffer. To remember. Remember what you are, what you can endure, what you can overcome. Enemy 2, distraction. Your phone buzzes. Your mind wanders. Your attention fragments. You can't focus for 5 minutes. Can't think for 5 minutes. Can't sit for 5 minutes. The Stoics had focus, laser focus. Death focus, because they couldn't afford distraction. Distraction meant death. Fight back. One task, 1 hour. No breaks, no checks, no escapes. Feel the itch. Feel the urge. Feel the need. Then ignore it. Override it. Conquer it. Enemy 3. Tomorrow. You'll start tomorrow. Change tomorrow. Be better tomorrow. Tomorrow never comes, never has, never will. The Stoics knew there is only today, only now, only this breath. Fight back. Whatever you're waiting to do it now. Badly, imperfectly, but now. The email, send it. The workout, start it. The conversation, have it. Not when you're ready. You'll never be ready. Now, while you're scared, while you're unprepared, while you're weak. That's when it counts. That's when it matters. That's when it changes you. Everyone quotes Marcus Aurelius. Few know his story. His father died when he was 3. His adoptive father died when he was 17. His mentor died soon after. He didn't want to be emperor. He wanted to study philosophy, to think, to write, to teach. Instead, he got war, plague, betrayal, death. His children died, lots of them, one by one. He watched them burn on pyres. His wife cheated with gladiators. Everyone knew. Everyone whispered. His best friend rebelled, started a war. Marcus had to kill him. His son was insane, cruel, stupid. Marcus knew he'd destroy everything. And through it all, Marcus wrote, "Not for you, for himself, to stay sane, to stay human, to stay alive. Be like the rocky headland on which the waves constantly break. It stands firm, and round it the seething waters are laid to rest." Pretty words? No. Survival tactics. The waves were real. Death of children, betrayal of friends, weight of empire. The headland was his mind, the only thing he controlled, the only thing that mattered. He didn't write to inspire you. He wrote to survive another day, another loss, another betrayal. And he did, for 20 years, until he couldn't. He died in a tent, at war. His son became emperor, destroyed everything, as predicted. Marcus failed at everything that mattered: family, legacy, peace. Except one thing: he never broke, never quit, never stopped. That's not philosophy, that's endurance. Rome was dying. Hannibal was killing it, the greatest general ever, with war elephants, crushing armies, taking cities. Rome tried everything: big battles, smart tactics, better weapons. Nothing worked. Hannibal destroyed them all. Enter Fabius Maximus, old, cautious, boring. Rome made him dictator, gave him absolute power to save them. Everyone expected attack, massive assault, final battle. Fabius did nothing. Actually, worse than nothing. He ran away. Hannibal marched. Fabius retreated. Hannibal attacked. Fabius disappeared. Hannibal waited. Fabius waited longer. The Romans went insane, called him coward, traitor, fool, cunctator, they sneered. The delayer. Young generals mocked him. Politicians condemned him. Citizens hated him. Fabius didn't care, didn't explain, didn't defend. He understood something they didn't. Hannibal needed battles, like fire needs air, like sharks need movement. No battles, no victories, no supplies, no purpose. So Fabius denied him, day after day, month after month, year after year. Hannibal won every battle he fought, but Fabius wouldn't fight. The greatest tactical genius ever, reduced to chasing shadows. His men got hungry, bored, homesick, angry. They came to conquer, not to camp, to fight, not to march. Slowly, they weakened, not from wounds, from waiting. Hannibal begged for battle, burned towns, killed civilians. Fabius watched, waited, endured the hate. Finally, Hannibal left, undefeated, but beaten, not by swords, by patience, not by strength, by strategy. Fabius saved Rome by refusing to save it, won by refusing to win. Later, they built him statues, called him Shield of Rome. But during, they hated him. Every day, every decision, every retreat. He knew they would, did it anyway, for years. That's real Stoicism. Not action for action's sake. Right action. Even when it looks like cowardice, you think movement is progress. Activity is achievement. Busy is better. Fabius knew better. Sometimes the hardest action is no action. The discipline to wait, the strength to be still, the courage to be called coward. Your life is full of Hannibals, problems that want you to fight, toxic people who need reaction, bad jobs that demand energy, failing relationships that crave drama. You attack, engage, fight, lose, because that's what they want, what they need, what feeds them. Try Fabius instead. Withdraw, wait, watch. Not forever, not from fear, from strategy. Let them exhaust themselves, burn out, move on. Save your energy for battles that matter, wars worth winning. Most fights aren't worth fighting. Most hills aren't worth dying on. Most enemies defeat themselves. If you let them, if you're strong enough, if you can endure the criticism. Fabius could, for years, alone, hated. Right, can you? For days? For weeks? For months? Or will you fight because fighting feels good? React because reaction feels strong? Lose because losing feels noble? Fabius won by losing, saved by retreating, conquered by waiting. That's genius. That's discipline. That's power. The power to do nothing when everything screams for something. The power to be still when movement means death. The power to endure shame when honor means defeat. That's harder than fighting, harder than dying, harder than winning. That's why so few do it, why so few can, why so few succeed. Fabius could. The Stoics could. Can you? Diocletian started as nothing, less than nothing, property, born a slave, in Dalmatia, nobody, nothing, owned. But he watched, learned, waited, joined the army, rose through ranks, slowly, methodically, patiently, while Rome burned around him. Emperors murdered every year, sometimes every month. The empire was dying. Everyone knew. Nobody could stop it, except the slave, who remembered being owned, who understood power. He became emperor, not through birth, through patience, not through politics, through competence. His first act, share power, unheard of, insane, genius. He split the empire, 4 rulers working together, protecting each other. Everyone said it would fail, cause civil war, create chaos. It worked for 20 years, the only stability Rome had seen in generations. But here's the real shock. After 20 years, Diocletian quit, walked away, retired. The most powerful man in the world said, enough. No emperor had ever retired. Ever. They died in power. Always. Killed, poisoned, stabbed, but never retired. His co-emperors begged, the Senate pleaded, the people demanded, stay, rule, continue. He refused, went to his palace, grew cabbages, literally, when they asked him to return to save Rome again. He laughed. If you could see my cabbages, you wouldn't ask. Think about that. Absolute power, freely abandoned, for vegetables. This is peak Stoicism, knowing when to stop, choosing to stop, actually stopping. The slave who became emperor, then became farmer, by choice. He understood what you don't. Power corrupts, always, everyone, eventually. The only escape, leave, before it gets you, while you still can. You can't do this with your small power, your tiny authority, your minimal success. You cling, grasp, hold to jobs that diminish you, relationships that drain you, habits that kill you, because you're afraid of losing, of falling, of failing. Diocletian had everything, gave it away, lived happy. You have nothing, won't let go, live miserable. The slave understood freedom, the emperor understood prison, the farmer understood life. What do you understand? What are you clinging to? What owns you? Your job, your status, your comfort, your fear. Diocletian broke chains twice, first as slave, then as emperor. The second was harder, much harder, because he had to break them himself. You have chains, invisible chains, comfortable chains, killing chains. Break them or wear them, but stop pretending they're jewelry. The slave emperor knew, the farmer emperor lived. The free emperor died in his bed, growing cabbages, completely content. Not because he had power, because he left power. Not because he ruled, because he stopped. Not because he was emperor, because he wasn't. That's wisdom, that's strength, that's freedom. The freedom to walk away from anything, from everything. When it's time, when you're done, when staying would break you. Can you? Will you? Or will you die in harness, like every other emperor, except the slave? Who knew better? Who chose cabbages over crown, over coin, over comfort, and won? Seneca died 3 times, only the last one stuck. First death, poverty. Born rich, stayed rich, knew rich was weakness, so he practiced poor. 1 week per month, every month, for years. Slept on floors, ate bread and water, wore slave clothes. Not playing, living, really living, as if he'd lost everything. His friends mocked. Why pretend? You have millions. He smiled. I'm not pretending. I'm preparing. Preparing for what? For when Nero took it all, which he did. When it happened, Seneca shrugged. He'd been there, monthly, for years. The loss meant nothing, because he'd already lost, already survived, already knew. That's the first death. The death of need, of attachment, of fear. Second death, exile. Claudius banished him to Corsica, 8 years, alone, away from Rome, power, influence, life. Most would break, go mad, give up. Seneca wrote, studied, grew, thrived. He treated exile like school, prison like paradise, loss like lesson. When recalled, he was stronger, smarter, sharper, because he died to location, to comfort, to home. Everywhere became nowhere, nowhere became everywhere. That's the second death, the death of place, of comfort, of belonging. Third death, actual death. When Nero ordered suicide, Seneca was ready, had been ready, for decades. He'd mapped his veins, studied anatomy, practiced cuts, not morbidly, methodically, like studying any subject. Where to cut, how deep, How long? His wife tried to die with him. He stopped her. Live. Remember. Teach. The cuts were too shallow. He was old. Blood flowed slow. So he took poison. Like Socrates, but his body was too cold. Poison failed. Finally, a hot bath. To open the veins, speed the blood, end the show. It took hours. He talked throughout, taught throughout, lived throughout. His last words, "I offer this liquid as a libation to Jupiter the Liberator." The liquid was his blood. The liberation was from life. He died teaching, as he lived, as he prepared. 3 deaths, each deeper, each truer, each freer. You won't die once, won't let go once, won't release once. You clutch life, white knuckles, desperate grip, killing fear. Seneca released life 3 times before it released him. That's why he lived fully, died calmly, won completely. He knew what you don't. You can't lose what you've already given. Can't fear what you've already faced. Can't die if you're already dead. To attachment, to location, to breath, practice dying, not physically, psychologically. Die to your job before it fires you. Die to your relationship before it leaves you. Die to your health before it fails you. Not giving up, getting free, not quitting, transcending. When you've died to everything, you can live with anything. When you've lost everything, you can handle everything. When you've practiced the worst, you can manage the rest. Seneca knew. Seneca practiced. Seneca proved. 3 deaths, 1 life, complete victory. Your turn, your deaths, your freedom. Start small. Die to one thing. Today, your phone, your comfort, your routine. Feel the death, feel the loss, feel the freedom. Then resurrect. Stronger, clearer, freer. That's the secret. That's the practice. That's the way. Die before you die. So when you die, you're ready, like Seneca, who smiled, who taught, who chose. Not because he was brave, because he was practiced. Not because he was special, because he was prepared. 3 deaths, 3 freedoms, 1 life, well lived, well died, well done. Right now, you're at a crossroads, same crossroads the Stoics faced. Path 1, the easy path, the comfortable path, the normal path. Keep reading quotes, keep feeling inspired, keep doing nothing. Wake up in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, same life, same fears, same regrets. Die soft, die safe, die forgotten. Path 2, the hard path, the uncomfortable path, the Stoic path. Stop reading, start doing, stop thinking, start acting, stop hiding, start living. Wake up tomorrow, different, not perfect, but moving. Face pain, choose pain, use pain. Not because you're strong, because you're tired. Tired of being weak, tired of being soft, tired of being nothing. The Stoics weren't special. They were just tired. Tired of excuses, tired of comfort, tired of lies. So they chose truth. Hard truth, brutal truth, simple truth. Life is war. Death is certain. Time is short. Action is everything. You know this. Deep down, in your bones, in your gut, in your soul. The question isn't what to do. The question is, will you do it? Will you wake earlier? Will you train harder? Will you face reality? Will you stop collecting wisdom and start living it? The Stoics can't answer for you. I can't answer for you. Only you can answer. But answer now, not tomorrow, not later, now. Because later is a lie. Tomorrow is a dream. There is only now. Here's what nobody understands about growth. It requires destruction, always, without exception. Your muscles know this. You lift weight, fibers tear, literally rip. That's not damage, that's construction, starting with destruction. The tears heal, but stronger, bigger, better. No tears, no growth, no pain, no gain, no destruction, no construction. This isn't metaphor. It's mechanics, it's physics, it's truth. Everything grows this way, everything, without exception. Trees grow by breaking soil, butterflies by destroying cocoons, diamonds by crushing carbon. Birth requires destruction, of comfort, of safety, of what was. But you want growth without destruction, change without pain, progress without loss, like wanting muscles without lifting, diamonds without pressure, birth without labor. Impossible. Always was. Always will be. The Stoics knew this, lived this, proved this. Marcus destroyed his comfort, daily, on purpose, to grow strong. Epictetus destroyed his attachment to his body, to freedom, to dignity. Seneca destroyed his need for wealth, for safety, for life itself. They broke themselves, on purpose, controlled breaking, strategic breaking, before life broke them, randomly, brutally, permanently. That's the choice. Break yourself intelligently, or be broken stupidly. Destroy yourself strategically, or be destroyed chaotically. Choose your destruction, or have it chosen. You're doing this backwards, protecting what needs breaking, preserving what needs destroying. Your ego, your comfort, your stories, your limits. These aren't treasures. They're prisons, pretty prisons, but prisons. They need destruction, require destruction, demand destruction, but you protect them, feed them, strengthen them, then wonder why you don't grow, can't change, won't improve, because growth is destruction first, construction second, always. The muscle must tear, the seed must crack, the old must die, for the new to emerge, stronger, better, real. This is why the protocols hurt, why the practices sting, why the path burns. Not because we're masochists, because we understand physics, the physics of growth, of change, of becoming. You want to become better, something must be destroyed. You want to become stronger, something must break. You want to become free, something must die. Your comfort, your excuses, your old self. Pick one, destroy it. Today, now consciously, before life picks for you, destroys for you, unconsciously. The gym is controlled destruction. Life is chaotic destruction. Choose your destroyer. Choose your method. Choose your growth, or refuse. Stay whole. Stay weak. Stay same. But know this, destruction is coming. For everyone. For everything. Always. The only choice is conscious or unconscious, controlled or chaotic, growth or decay. The Stoics chose conscious, controlled, growth. They broke themselves beautifully, strategically, purposefully, and rebuilt stronger, every time, without exception. That's not philosophy. That's physics. That's nature. That's law. Break or be broken, destroy or be destroyed. Choose or lose. Your body knows this. Your muscles prove this. Your life demands this. Stop protecting what needs breaking. Start breaking what needs growing. One cold shower, one hard conversation, one scary step. Feel it break. Feel it hurt. Feel it work. That's not pain, that's construction, starting with destruction, as it must, as it should, as it will, with or without your permission, with or without your participation. Better to be the destroyer than the destroyed. Better to choose the breaking than have it chosen. Better to control the pain than be controlled by it. This is the way, the only way, the eternal way, through destruction to construction, through breaking to building, through pain to power, not around, through, always through, only through. The Stoics knew, the athletes know, the winners know, now you know. The question is, will you destroy to grow or protect to decay? Choose wisely, choose quickly, choose finally, because either way something's getting destroyed. Better it be your weakness than your potential. Enough talk. Here's what actually works. A banker in London read Marcus Aurelius once, decided to test it, started with his shower. Last 30 seconds, cold. His brain screamed, his body shook, his wife laughed. He did it anyway, every day, for a month. Then something shifted, not the cold. Him. He started waking earlier. Nobody told him to. His body demanded it. Started saying no to drinks, to meetings, to bullshit. His colleagues noticed. You've changed. They were right. 6 months later, he quit, started his own firm, from nothing. The cold shower taught me, he said. Discomfort is data, not danger. A teacher in Detroit, 3 kids, no money, dead marriage. Found Epictetus online, didn't buy the book, couldn't afford it. Started with 1 meal, standing up, while kids sat. Felt stupid, felt hard, felt something. Added push-ups, 10 here, 10 there, between classes. Her students mocked. Why you doing that, miss? Because I can, she said, and kept going. Then the walks, drove everywhere before, now walked, in snow, in rain, in exhaustion. Her body changed. But more important, her mind changed. Started journaling, 3 sentences, every night. What worked, what didn't, what's next. The divorce came. She was ready, had been preparing, without knowing. I wasn't running from pain anymore, she said. I was training with it. An engineer in Tokyo, successful, empty, considering ending it. Stumbled on Seneca, the suicide passages, ironic. Decided to die differently, to his old self, through action, 24-hour fast, no preparation, just stopped eating. Hour 12 he panicked. Hour 18 he calmed. Hour 24 he understood. Hunger is just information, he realized, not emergency. Then the difficult conversation with his father. 20 years of silence. Said what needed saying, heard what needed hearing. Both cried. Then the floor, gave up his bed, slept on tatami, no pillow. His back hurt, then adjusted, then strengthened, then preferred it. Comfort was killing me, he said, literally, softly, but killing. These aren't special people. They're you, with one difference. They acted. Small, daily, consistently. You're watching this in bed, on your phone. Comfortable. Your brain is soft. Your will is weak. Your life is beige. But right now, this second, you can change that. Not tomorrow. Now. Tonight. Before you sleep. The cold shower. The hard conversation. The floor sleeping. Pick one, just one, and do it. Tonight. Feel your brain resist. Feel your body complain. Feel your fear rise. Then do it anyway, through the resistance, past the complaint, despite the fear. That's the protocol, not a list, not a program, not a course. Just action, your action, starting now. The banker chose cold. The teacher chose hunger. The engineer chose hard. What do you choose? And more important, will you actually choose? Or will you save this video, share this quote, then do nothing? Your brain knows the answer. Your past proves the answer. Your comfort confirms the answer. But answers can change. Brains can harden. Lives can transform. Through action, small action, daily action, starting action. Not perfect action, not big action, just action. The protocol isn't complex. It's simple. Too simple. Insultingly simple. Pick something hard. Do it daily. Watch yourself change. That's it. That's all. That's everything. But you want more. More steps. More guidance. More excuses. So here's your month. If you need structure, if you crave permission, if you demand direction. First week, break one comfort, any comfort, daily. Second week, add one challenge, any challenge, daily. Third week, face one fear, any fear, daily. Fourth week, give one gift, any gift, daily. But the specifics don't matter. The categories don't matter. The timeline doesn't matter. Only action matters. Your action. Real action. Now action. The banker took cold showers, built an empire. The teacher stood while eating, rebuilt her life. The engineer slept on floors, found his soul. Not through philosophy, through practice. Not through wisdom, through work. The protocol is you, choosing discomfort, choosing growth, choosing life, over comfort, over safety, over death. Your move, your choice, your life, starting now or never. But choose, because not choosing is choosing. Comfort is choosing. Waiting is choosing. Just not choosing well. Cato the Younger was Stoicism perfected, and it killed him. He lived every principle, to the extreme, past the extreme, beyond sanity, walked barefoot, in winter, through Rome, to prove he could, wore black when everyone wore white, to show he didn't care, slept on ground, ate plain food, refused comfort, always. But here's the tragedy. He was too stoic, too rigid, too pure. When Caesar rose, Cato fought, not with armies, with principles. Caesar bent rules. Cato broke himself. Caesar compromised. Cato died. The civil war came. Caesar won, offered Cato pardon, freedom, life. Cato's response? Suicide. Not quick suicide, stoic suicide, philosophical suicide. He read Plato's Phaedo twice about the soul's immortality, preparing, then stabbed himself. But the wound wasn't fatal. His servants found him, called doctors. They stitched him up, saved him, against his will. When they left, Cato tore out his stitches, ripped open his wound, pulled out his intestines, with his bare hands, fully conscious, fully committed. He died holding his own guts, because accepting Caesar's mercy was worse than death. This is Stoicism's dark side, the danger of perfection, the trap of absolutes. Cato was right about everything, and it killed him, killed the Republic, killed the dream, because he couldn't bend, wouldn't adapt, refused to live imperfectly. Caesar was a tyrant, but a living tyrant, who wrote history. Cato was a saint, but a dead saint, who became a footnote, The lesson isn't that Cato was wrong. The lesson is that being right isn't enough. Sometimes you must choose pure principles or practical results, clean hands or dirty victories, beautiful death or ugly life. Cato chose purity, chose principles, chose death. Rome got Caesar, then Augustus, then centuries of emperors. Because the perfect Stoic couldn't play politics, couldn't stomach compromise, couldn't live grey. You face this daily, smaller scale, same choice. Stand on principle or stand at all. Fight perfectly or win ugly. Die right or live wrong. The Stoics teach virtue, but Cato teaches limits. The limit of righteousness, of rigidity, of refusing to bend. Sometimes the oak breaks, while the reed survives. Sometimes the pure die, while the compromised thrive. Sometimes being right is wrong. If it helps, wrong win. Cato wouldn't see this, couldn't see this, refused to see this, so he died. Beautifully, meaninglessly, perfectly, holding his principles and his intestines to the end. That's not wisdom, that's warning. That's what happens when philosophy becomes pathology, when principles become prison, when virtue becomes vice. The other Stoics knew better. Marcus compromised daily. Seneca played politics. Epictetus bent constantly. They lived, taught, influenced, lasted. Cato died, pure, right, forgotten. Except as a warning, don't be so stoic that you can't be human. Don't be so right that you can't be effective. Don't be so pure that you can't survive. The world needs live philosophers, not dead saints. Effective teachers, not perfect corpses. Bend when necessary, compromise when strategic, survive to fight again. MMA fighters know something you don't. About fear, about pain, about life. They step into cages, locked cages, with killers. For money, not much money, not safe killers, real danger, real consequences, real fear. Every fighter feels it, before every fight. Without exception, the walk to the cage, heart pounding, hands shaking, mind racing. 25 minutes or less of pure violence. No escape, no excuse, no mercy. They could die, actually die, or worse, be broken, humiliated, exposed, in front of thousands, millions watching online, forever recorded, and they do it anyway, again and again and again. Not because they're fearless, because they're terrified, and walk forward anyway. This is applied Stoicism, without the name, without the quotes, without the books, just practice, pure practice, paid practice. GSP, Georges St-Pierre, greatest ever. Threw up before every fight, every single fight, from fear, from anxiety, from knowing. Still walked out, still fought, still won. Usually, he said, I'm not afraid of fighting. I'm afraid of losing, of disappointing, of failing. But I fight anyway, because avoiding fear is worse than facing it. That's Marcus Aurelius, in shorts, getting punched, for points. Khabib Nurmagomedov, never lost. 29 fights, 0 defeats. His secret: I make my mind stronger than my opponent's body, trained in mountains, in snow, in pain, daily. Not just physical, mental, spiritual, total. When I fight, I already won. In training, in mountain, in mind. That's Epictetus, with the accent, breaking arms, for legacy. These men aren't philosophers. Don't quote Seneca. Don't read Marcus. They live it, because they must, because weakness means defeat, because defeat means everything. They found the secret through bruises, not books, through blood, not blogs. The secret: fear never goes away. Never. Not for anyone, not for anything. Champions feel it, beginners feel it, everyone feels it. The difference: champions act anyway, through fear, with fear, despite fear. They use it as fuel, as focus, as friend. Fear means you're alive, awake, aware, ready. No fear means you're stupid, or lying, or dead. The cage doesn't lie, can't hide, won't forgive. Just like life, exactly like life. Life is the cage. You're locked in, with opponents, with consequences, with fear. No referee, no rounds, no rules, just survival. The fighters know this, train for this, live this. Every day is fight camp. Every challenge is an opponent. Every fear is a teacher. They don't avoid pain, they study it, where it comes from, how it works, when it lies. They don't escape fear, they examine it, what it wants, why it exists, how to use it. They don't seek comfort, they seek growth, through discomfort, through challenge, through combat. Not just physical combat, mental combat, spiritual combat, daily combat, with laziness, with weakness, with excuses, with limits. They fight themselves first, opponents second, always in that order, because the hardest opponent is internal, always was, always will be. Your mind, your fear, your weakness, your quit. Beat that opponent. The external ones are easy. That's what fighters know, what Stoics knew, what winners know. The fight isn't out there, it's in here, in you, right now. And you're losing because you won't train, won't face, won't fight. You avoid the cage, the challenge, the growth, the truth, while fighters embrace it, enter it, own it, daily. Not because they're special, because they're honest. Honest about fear, about pain, about what it takes to win, to grow, to live, really live. In the cage or in life, same rules, same truth, same choice. Fight or fold, face or flee, grow or decay. The fighters choose fight every time. Despite fear, through pain, for growth. What do you choose when life locks the cage, when fear fills your chest, when pain promises growth? Do you fight like GSP, terrified but moving, sick but striking, or do you tap out before it starts, before you try, before you know? The cage is waiting, life is waiting, growth is waiting, for you to step in, lock the door, face the fear, and fight, not perfectly, not fearlessly, but fully, like the gladiators, modern gladiators, who know the secret. The fight makes you, not the victory, not the belt, the fight. Every fight, every day, every choice, to step in or step back, to face or flee, to grow or die. Your cage, your choice, your fight, starting now or never. This path isn't safe. It's not meant to be. Warning. 1. People will think you're crazy. Waking early, taking cold showers, fasting, choosing discomfort. They'll laugh, mock, worry, try to stop you. Good. Their weakness confirms your strength. Warning. 2. You'll want to quit. Daily. Your mind will scream, your body will rebel, your emotions will rage. This is the test, not of philosophy, of character. The Stoics felt this every day. They continued anyway. Warning 3. You'll see too much. Once you're strong, you'll see weakness everywhere, in friends, in family, in society. You'll see the lies, the excuses, the waste. This is the burden of clarity, of strength, of truth. Warning 4. You can't go back. Once you taste real life, raw life, comfortable life tastes like death. Once you feel real strength, earned strength, given strength feels like weakness. Once you know real truth, lived truth, quoted truth sounds like lies. This is irreversible, permanent, final. Warning 5. You'll be alone, not physically, mentally, spiritually, philosophically. Few walk this path, fewer complete it, almost none maintain it. The Stoics were alone, Marcus in his tent, Epictetus in his chains, Seneca in his palace, surrounded by people, utterly alone. This is the price of strength, of clarity, of freedom. History forgets their names, but not their actions, not their courage, not their extremes. The unnamed Stoics, who took it further, lived it harder, died better. Like the student of Epictetus. Name lost, story remains. His master taught indifference to pain. The student tested it with fire, held his hand over flame until it charred, without flinching, without sound. Epictetus stopped him. Enough, you understand. The student smiled. No, now I know. Knowledge versus knowing. Theory versus truth, teaching versus testing, or the Roman soldier, trained by Marcus Aurelius generals, in Stoic principles, captured by Germans, tortured for information, for days, for sport, never spoke, never broke, never begged. They escalated. He endured. Finally, they gave up, released him, broken, but unbeaten. He walked back to Roman lines, reported for duty. The next day, no celebration, no complaint, no explanation, just service. That's beyond teaching, beyond philosophy, beyond human. Or the merchant's wife, who read Seneca once, understood completely. When plague took her children, all 5, in 1 week, she didn't collapse. She prepared bodies, arranged funerals, comforted others who lost one, then returned to work, to life, to service, without bitterness, without break. People called her inhuman, cold, dead inside. She smiled. I'm more alive than ever. Pain proved it. Loss revealed it. Seneca explained it. These weren't famous philosophers, weren't wealthy Romans, weren't remembered. Just people who heard the message, took it seriously, lived it fully, further than the teachers, harder than the masters, purer than the sources, because they had no reputation to protect, no books to sell, no students to impress, just life to live, pain to face, death to meet, prepared. They proved something important, something forgotten, that teachings work, really work, when really applied, without reservation, without moderation, without excuse, without limit. The masters held back, had to, for society, for students, for sanity. The students didn't, couldn't, wouldn't. They took indifference to pain, literally, completely, finally. They took amor fati seriously, absolutely, totally. They took memento mori practically, daily, hourly, and became something, not philosophers, not teachers, not writers, forces, natural forces, like storms, like mountains, like physics, unstoppable, unbreakable, unbelievable, but real. This is available. to anyone who goes far enough, hard enough, long enough, past comfort, past reason, past human, to truth, the truth the masters pointed to, but couldn't reach or wouldn't show, because it's dangerous, extreme, absolute, final. It changes you, not improves, changes, at the core, in the essence, completely, from human to force, from person to principle, from self to Stoic. Not Stoic the philosophy, Stoic the reality, the living reality, the breathing truth, where pain is information, loss is liberation, death is transition, not metaphorically, actually, experientially, permanently. The students found this, lived this, proved this, died this, without fame, without recognition, without record, but with impact. They showed the edge, the far edge, the real edge of what's possible. When philosophy stops being philosophy, starts being physics, becomes being, you can't reach this through books, through quotes, through moderation, only through extremes, through testing, through breaking, through becoming. The masters gave the map. The students made the journey to the edge, past the edge, beyond the edge, where words stop, where concepts die, where only experience remains, raw experience, pure experience, total experience of what humans can become. When they stop being human, start being Stoic, really Stoic, finally Stoic, not the philosophy, the phenomenon, the force, the fact, available to all, reached by few, survived by fewer, but real as physics, as gravity, as death, as truth. The students proved it, with their lives, with their deaths, with their examples. Now you know, the edge exists, the extreme works, the absolute is possible. The question is, how far will you go? How hard will you push? How much will you become, like the masters, who pointed, or like the students, who arrived? Your choice, your journey, your edge. But know this, the students surpassed the masters, always do, always will, because they had nothing to lose, everything to test, all to become. Just like you, if you choose, if you dare, if you go all the way to the edge, past the edge, beyond the edge, where philosophy ends, reality begins, and you become. What the masters imagined, what the students achieved, what awaits for those brave enough, strong enough, crazy enough to surpass. Your brain is plastic, not theory. Fact, it changes constantly based on input. Comfort creates soft brains, literally. Fewer connections, weaker signals, slower processing. Hardship creates hard brains, more connections, stronger signals, faster processing. This isn't philosophy, it's neuroscience, measurable, provable, repeatable. When you take cold showers, your brain panics. First time, second time, third time, then it adapts, builds new pathways, stronger pathways, cold-resistant pathways. Not just for cold, for all stress, all challenge, all fear. The cold is just training. Your brain is the student. Resilience is the lesson. Same with fasting. Your brain screams, "Food, now, emergency!" You ignore it, override it, outlast it. Your brain learns, adjusts, rewires, becomes efficient, burns fat, clears fog, sharpens focus. Not just for hunger, for all scarcity, all lack, all need. The hunger is just training. Your brain is the student. Independence is the lesson. Same with early rising. Your brain resists, wants comfort, demands sleep. You refuse. Rise anyway. Function anyway. Thrive anyway. Your brain surrenders, adapts, optimizes, releases chemicals, different chemicals, better chemicals. Not just for mornings, for all discipline, all choice, all will. The alarm is just training. Your brain is the student. Mastery is the lesson. This is measurable. Brain scans show it. Blood tests prove it. Performance metrics confirm it. Voluntary hardship changes brain structure, actually changes it, physically, permanently, makes it more connected, more efficient, more capable, more powerful. But here's what's crazy. Your ancestors knew this. Without science, without scans, without proof. They just observed, tested, confirmed, through experience, through results, through survival. Hard times create strong people. Soft times create weak people. Always, without exception. Not metaphorically, neurologically, not spiritually, structurally, not theoretically. Actually, your brain needs resistance. Like muscles need weight. Like diamonds need pressure. Like swords need fire. No resistance, no growth, no challenge, no change, no suffering, no strength. This is why modern life breaks people. Too easy, too comfortable, too soft. Brains atrophy like unused muscles, become weak, fragile, useless. Then life hits, real life, with real problems, requiring real strength, and soft brains break, panic, collapse, medicate, escape, because they never trained, never hardened, never adapted, never grew. The Stoics prevented this with voluntary hardship, strategic suffering, chosen challenge. They built anti-fragile brains. Before the term existed, before the science proved it, brains that get stronger from stress, better from pressure, sharper from pain. Not despite suffering, because of suffering, through suffering, using suffering, as tool, as teacher, as transformer, as technology, ancient technology, proven technology, available technology, free technology, but you won't use it. Too hard, too uncomfortable, too extreme. So you stay soft, stay weak, stay breakable, stay stuck while your brain waits, ready to adapt, eager to grow, designed to strengthen, if you give it reason, through resistance, through challenge, through choice. The science is clear, the mechanism is simple, the results are certain. Stress plus recovery equals growth. Always, in muscles, in brains, in life. But you avoid stress, maximize comfort, minimize growth, guarantee weakness. Then wonder why you're anxious, depressed, fragile, lost. Your brain tells you, through symptoms, through suffering, through screaming, challenge me, strengthen me, use me, or lose me. But you don't listen. Take pills instead. Seek comfort instead. Stay sane instead, while the answer waits. In cold water, in empty stomach, in early morning, in chosen suffering, in voluntary hardship, in deliberate discomfort. Not forever, not stupidly, but regularly, systematically, scientifically, building better brain, stronger mind, unbreakable spirit. Measurably, the Stoics knew, without science, through observation. by results. Now science confirms what they practiced, what they preached, what they proved. Suffering serves purpose. Discomfort drives growth. Challenge creates change. In your brain, in your body, in your being, literally. The only question is, will you use this technology, this ancient technology, this proven technology, or will you stay comfortable, stay soft, stay same, stay suffering? Your brain waits, evolution waits, growth waits for your decision to challenge or coddle, to strengthen or soften, to grow or decay. The Stoics chose challenge. Their brains adapted, their lives reflected, their legacy lasted. You can choose same, starting now, through cold, through hunger, through hardship. Not because it's philosophical, because it's biological, not because it's virtuous, because it's effective. Your brain, your choice, your transformation, through suffering or through softness. But choose knowing. The science supports suffering. The brain requires resistance. Growth demands discomfort, always has, always will, in every species, in every system, in every soul. That's not philosophy, that's physics, that's nature, that's truth. Use it or lose it. But don't deny it, don't ignore it, don't escape it, because your brain knows, your body knows, your being knows what the Stoics knew, what science proved, what works. Voluntary hardship, chosen challenge, strategic suffering, daily, not to punish, to build, not to harm, to strengthen, not to break, to become unbreakable. Time for truth, ugly truth, necessary truth. Modern Stoicism is soft, commercialized, sanitized, dead. The million-dollar philosophers, writing from mansions, selling you Marcus Aurelius. Obstacle is the way, they preach, from first-class flights through million-dollar book deals. What obstacles? Publisher deadlines, podcast schedules, stock portfolios. Marcus wrote while men screamed, blood on his hands, death in his tent. They write in coffee shops, latte in hand, comfort everywhere. One-faced plague, war, betrayal, death. The others face algorithms, reviews, competition, taxes. Same philosophy, please. The self-help industry found Stoicism. Like vultures find corpses, they picked it clean, kept the quotes, killed the meaning. Now it's everywhere. Instagram wisdom, LinkedIn philosophy, TikTok depth. Memento mori on coffee mugs, printed in China, $30. Amor fati on t-shirts. Organic cotton, ethically sourced, $60. Premeditatio malorum in journals, leather-bound, gold embossed, $100. Products, not practice. Merchandise, not mindset. Business, not philosophy. They sell you comfort disguised as strength, ease disguised as wisdom, consumption disguised as growth. Buy this course, read this book, join this community, subscribe, like, share. The Stoics had no courses, no books for sale, no communities to join. They had life, raw life, real life, hard life. Epictetus didn't have a newsletter. Seneca didn't sell seminars. Marcus didn't monetize meditations. They lived. They suffered. They taught. They died. Now everyone's a Stoic. Every entrepreneur, every influencer, every coach. They quote Seneca while chasing millions, reference Marcus while avoiding discomfort, preach Epictetus while living soft. It's a joke. A profitable joke, but still a joke. Real Stoicism isn't marketable, can't be packaged, won't sell, because real Stoicism hurts, costs, demands. But here's the worst part, the part that would make Marcus vomit. They're not wrong about the quotes. The quotes are real, the wisdom is true, they just stripped out the hard parts, the painful parts, the transformative parts, like selling a sword without the edge, a fire without heat, a diamond without pressure. Pretty, useless, dead. The modern merchants can't sell pain, won't sell sacrifice, don't understand suffering, so they sell you sugar, coated in ancient wisdom, packaged in philosophy. You buy it, consume it, feel better, stay weak. Meanwhile, real life waits, with real problems, requiring real strength, which you don't have because you bought comfort, not capability. The Stoics would burn these books, all of them, including their own, because books aren't the answer. Action is the answer, not coached action, not guided action, not purchased action. Your action, raw action, daily action, without gurus, without guides, without guarantees. Just you, and life, and the choice to be strong. That's free. Always was, always will be. But it doesn't sell, doesn't scale, doesn't trend. So they keep selling. You keep buying. Nothing changes except your library and their bank accounts. Want to know who really lives this? Let me show you. Forget the philosophers. Look at the practitioners. Navy SEALs in cold water. 4 hours, no movement, no complaint. They don't quote Marcus. They live Marcus. Waiting, watching, shivering, focused. Death possible. Mission critical. Comfort irrelevant. That's Stoicism. Without the name, without the books, without the quotes. Emergency room doctors, 30-hour shifts, death after death. They don't read Seneca. They embody Seneca. Blood on their hands, exhaustion in their bones, clarity in their minds. Save who they can, lose who they must. Move to the next. No time for emotion, no space for breakdown, no luxury of feeling. That's Stoicism. Raw, real, required. War correspondents in Syria, in Ukraine, in hell. They don't study Epictetus, they become Epictetus. Bombs falling, bodies burning, stories needed. They stay, they witness, they report. Not for glory, not for money, for truth, knowing they might die. Today, now, here. That's Stoicism. Lived, breathed, proven, single mothers, 3 jobs, no support. They don't know philosophy. They know survival. Up at 5, home at midnight, kids fed, bills paid. No complaining, no stopping, no choice. Just action, daily action, necessary action. That's Stoicism. Pure, simple, beautiful. Oncology nurses, watching children die. Every week, they don't discuss virtue, they practice virtue. Holding hands, wiping tears, staying strong. When parents break, when hope dies, when nothing helps. They remain, they serve, they endure. That's Stoicism. Applied, tested, verified. These people don't call themselves Stoics. Don't read philosophy. Don't seek wisdom. They just live it, because life demands it, because weakness isn't option. They found the secret. Without seeking, without studying, without knowing. The secret is simple. When life gets hard enough, you get stoic. Not by choice, by necessity, not through books, through pain. Your life isn't hard enough. That's your problem. You have options, alternatives, escapes. So you read about strength. Instead of building it, you study resilience. Instead of earning it, you admire toughness. Instead of becoming it. These modern Stoics, unnamed, unknown, unsung, they laugh at your books, your quotes, your courses, your comfort. They're too busy living, surviving, thriving in conditions that would break you, have broken you, will break you, unless you learn, not from books. From them, from their example, their silence, their strength. They show the way, not through words, through days, hard days, long days, real days. The question isn't, can you quote the Stoics? The question is, can you live like one, when no one's watching, when it doesn't matter, when it hurts? The seals can, the doctors can, the mothers can. Can you? Or will you just read about it, think about it, dream about it? They don't dream, they do. Every day, all day. That's the difference. That's the gap. That's the truth. Modern Stoics exist, just not where you're looking. Not in books, in hospitals, not in quotes, in conflicts, not in comfort, in chaos. Find them, watch them, learn from them, or keep reading, keep quoting, keep pretending while they keep living. Keep doing, keep being what the ancients taught, what moderns sell, what heroes live. Choose your teacher, choose your path, choose your life, but choose based on results, not rhetoric, on action, not abstraction, on life, not literature. The real Stoics are out there, right now, this moment, living what you're reading, doing what you're thinking, being what you're seeking. Join them, or just study them. Your choice, as always, as ever. Here's what nobody tells you about the Stoics. They weren't trying to be happy. They were trying to be unbreakable. They weren't seeking peace. They were seeking power. They weren't avoiding pain. They were transcending it, and they succeeded. Not perfectly, not completely, but enough. Enough to face torture without breaking. Enough to rule without corrupting. Enough to die without fearing. This is available to you. Right now, today, this moment. Not through quotes, not through books, not through videos, through action, daily action, painful action, chosen action. But here's the real truth, the final truth, the only truth. You already know this. Deep down, in your bones, you know comfort is killing you, slowly, surely, softly. You know distraction is draining you, daily, hourly, constantly. You know you're capable of more, much more, so much more, but knowing isn't enough, was never enough, will never be enough. Remember the beginning. Every motivational page quotes dead philosophers. Well, now you know why they're dead, and why their quotes live. They're dead because they lived, really lived, fully lived. The quotes live because we don't. We collect them, share them, frame them, but we don't live them. We can't. We won't. Because living them killed them, literally. Marcus in his frozen tent, Seneca in his bloody bath, Epictetus with his broken leg. They paid the price, in flesh, in blood, in breath. We pay in likes, in shares, in saves. They wrote in mud and blood. We type in comfort and coffee. They face death daily. We face notifications. The slave who wouldn't scream. the emperor who wouldn't quit, the advisor who wouldn't run. They knew what you know, felt what you feel, feared what you fear. The difference? They acted anyway, despite the knowledge, through the fear, past the pain, every morning, every challenge, every moment. Not because they were special, because they decided to matter, decided to endure, decided to become. That decision is before you, right now, this second, not tomorrow. Tomorrow is a lie you tell yourself, a comfortable lie, a killing lie. Not when you're ready. You'll never be ready. No one ever is. Not when it's easier. It never gets easier. Ever. Now, while you're weak, while you're scared, while you're unworthy, that's when it counts. That's when it matters. That's when it transforms. The Stoics made their choice. They paid their price. They won their prize. Not happiness, not comfort, not ease. Freedom, real freedom, inner freedom, unshakable freedom. The freedom to face anything, endure anything, overcome anything. The freedom to live without fear, work without worry, die without regret. This freedom has a price, always had, always will. The price is action, daily action, painful action, necessary action. But here's what the merchants won't tell you, what the books won't say, what the courses won't teach. The price is the prize, the action is the answer, the pain is the path, the struggle is the solution. Every cold shower makes you stronger, every early morning makes you sharper, every hard choice makes you freer. Not eventually, immediately, in the moment. As you do it, the transformation isn't coming, it's happening, with each action, each decision, each step. Most won't pay it. That's why most suffer. Quietly, constantly, unnecessarily. Some will pay it, starting now, starting small, starting scared. They'll discover what the Stoics knew. The obstacle is the way. Pain is the teacher. Action is the answer. Not tomorrow, not later, not when ready. Now, while weak, while scared, while doubting. That's when it counts. That's when it matters. That's when it begins. Your choice, your moment, your life. The Stoics are watching, not from heaven, from history, watching to see, will you join them or just quote them? Will you act or just consume? Will you live or just exist? The answer isn't in words, it's in action. Your action, starting now or never. Choose wisely, choose quickly, choose finally. Because death is coming. Always was, always will be. And when it arrives, tonight, tomorrow, decades from now, only one question matters. Did you live? Really live? Or did you just collect quotes? Every motivational page quotes dead philosophers, but none tell you what they did to survive. Now you know. You know what they did, how they lived, why they died. You know the price. You know the path. You know the prize. The question isn't, what did they do? The question is, what will you do? The Stoics answered with their lives, with their pain, with their deaths. Marcus in his tent, fighting to the end. Epictetus in his chains, teaching to the end. Seneca in his bath, bleeding to the end. They didn't just study philosophy, they became philosophy. They didn't just read about virtue, they lived virtue. They didn't just think about death, they prepared for death. Every day, every hour, every breath. not morbidly, honestly, not fearfully, clearly. They knew the secret, the ultimate secret, the only secret. Life is short. Death is certain. Time is now. Everything else is distraction, comfort, lies. Your job, your status, your possessions, dust, your fears, your anxieties, your excuses, shadows. What matters is what you do. Today, now, this moment. Will you wake earlier? Will you choose discomfort? Will you face truth? Will you stop hiding, stop running, stop pretending? Will you finally live like they lived, with intensity, with purpose, with urgency? Will you stop quoting dead philosophers and start living like one? The clock is ticking, always was, always will be. Each tick is a choice, each moment a decision, each day a lifetime. Waste it on comfort, spend it on distraction, lose it to fear, or invest it in strength, in growth, in becoming. Becoming what? Not happy, not successful, not important. Becoming unbreakable, becoming unstoppable, becoming free, free from fear, free from comfort, free from lies, free to face whatever comes, handle whatever happens, endure whatever arrives, with calm, with strength, with clarity. Not because you read about it, because you lived it. Not because you understand it, because you practiced it. Not because you believe it, because you proved it. Through cold showers, through hard workouts, through difficult conversations, through chosen pain, through voluntary discomfort, through deliberate challenge, day after day, week after week, year after year, until death comes and finds you ready, not ready to die, ready to have lived fully, completely, intensely, without regret, without apology, without compromise, like Marcus, like Epictetus, like Seneca, like the seals, like the doctors, like the mothers, like everyone who chose strength over comfort, action over words, life over existence. This is your invitation, your challenge, your opportunity, not from me, from them, from history, from truth. Join the ranks, pay the price, claim the prize, or close this video, return to comfort. Pretend you didn't hear, but you did hear. You do know. You can't unknow. The seed is planted, the fire is lit, the choice is made, not by me, by you, in listening, in staying, in knowing. Now comes the hard part, the only part, the real part, acting on what you know, living what you've learned, being what you've seen, starting now, starting small, starting anyway, with one cold shower, one hard workout, one difficult truth, then another, then another, then another, until it's not philosophy, it's personality, until it's not practice, it's identity, until it's not Stoicism, it's you, the you that was always there, under the comfort, past the fear, beyond the lies, the you that Marcus would recognize, Epictetus would respect, Seneca would embrace, the you that doesn't need quotes, doesn't need permission, doesn't need motivation, the you that acts, simply acts, always acts, because action is the answer, was always the answer, will always be the answer to every question, every problem, every challenge. What should I do? Act. How should I live? Act. When should I start? Act. Now. Here. Today. With whatever you have. Wherever you are. However you can. Perfectly. No. Completely. No. Flawlessly. No. But actually. Really. Truly. That's the difference. The only difference. The eternal difference. Between Stoics and students. Between heroes and readers. Between life and existence. Between those who quote dead philosophers and those who live like them. One acts, one talks, one becomes, one dreams. Which are you? Which will you be? Which do you choose? The answer isn't in your words. It's in your next move. Make it count. Make it matter. Make it now. The Stoics have spoken, through me, to you, for the last time. The dead philosophers have been quoted enough. Time to stop quoting. Time to start living. What happens next isn't philosophy. It's everything. The video is ending. The words are stopping. The choice is starting. Right now. This second. You're deciding. Not consciously. Deeper. In the place where real decisions live. You'll either close this, return to scrolling, forget by tomorrow, or you'll act. Small action. Real action. Now action. The shower tonight. Colder than usual. Just the last minute. The alarm tomorrow. Earlier than usual. Just 30 minutes. The conversation pending. Harder than usual. Just 5 minutes. Small, simple, started. That's how empires fall. That's how heroes rise. That's how lives change. Not through grand gestures, through daily choices. Compound choices. Consistent choices. The Stoics knew this. Lived this. Died this. Now you know. The question is, will you live? Not their life. Your life. But lived their way. With intensity. With purpose. With urgency. Starting now. Or never. The choice is yours. Was always yours. Will always be yours. Make it. Live it. Be it. Not tomorrow. Not Monday. Not January. Now. This moment. This breath. The first step. The hardest step. The only step that matters. Take it or don't. But know this. The Stoics are watching. I'm watching. You're watching. Watching to see what you're really made of. What you'll really do. Who you'll really become. The stage is set. The moment is here. The choice is clear. Act or fade. Live or exist. Rise or remain. Your move, your life, your legacy. Every motivational page quotes dead philosophers. Now you know why they're dead. They lived. The quotes are dead. Your actions begin.